Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you are, I suppose. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. Got a little bit late starting because my sister-in-law called me just as I was getting ready to press live. It's like, oh shit. Oh no. What would it be? I hope everything is working okay because I'm kind of going into this blind. I'm hoping everything is working. Move my... Maybe that'll work? Hopefully that'll work. Anyways. So today I am just working on some PNG stills for videos. I want to start doing storytime videos, and I want to make some stills to go along with them, like, you know, do some like art in the background and then just have a little character in the corner. That way you don't have to watch it. You can just put it on in the background if you want. But anyways, that's the idea. So we're going to be working on these today because I am really bad at like getting work done when I should be. So that's what we're gonna do today. Alright. What expression? As you can see, I already have like some of these set up. I've done a handful of them. And have some body types here, and basically what I'm doing to make everything uniform is just kind of copy and paste all over. Got like a handful of expressions right here, and got basic face shape, coolers, my phone's going off. Everybody wants my attention. Everybody always wants my attention when I have like something to do. Never when I have nothing to do. Never when I've decided last minute to like do nothing. No, just when I'm in the middle of something. Suddenly everybody wants to talk to me. Ain't that just the way? So next we're going to create a folder. Let's see here, let's do that. And I go through this. Wait, no. I don't want to do that. This. Here. That in there. Toledo. It. Where should. Oh, working area over here. Pocket top. Gee, I hope my chat function is working. It'd be awful if my chat function wasn't working and people were trying to say something. Maybe they're not. That's okay too. I'm gonna just twist it. Do a new eyes. This one. Yeah. That's the one. Oh my goodness. Her eyes go? That's not where her eyes go at all. Well, I mean, kind of is. Oop. There we go. That's better. Hope you all can hear the music okay too. Oop. There we go. My position so I don't look weird. Oop. Okay. What am I doing? Ah, shit. I was gonna do something. I forgot what I was gonna do. Ah! I turned up my own music way too loud. Whoops. Let's see here. Yeah. Better. Much better. I don't know if this is a common artist problem, but like, I know that for me, I can tell when something is off, but I can't always tell how or why. And so, typically what happens is I'll look at something I've drawn, I'm like, this isn't right. What's not right about this? Why can't I figure this out? And it will drive me mad, and I will try everything. I'll look at references, I'll look at, you know, all kinds of stuff, and once I finally figure it out, it's usually like moving the eyes a pixel to the left, or like a pixel apart, or like just something really, really small. And it's crazy because I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. It's like almost a sigh of relief once I figure it out. Like this thing that's been bothering my brain for hours, and then suddenly, like, it's solved. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Am I the only one who experiences this? I feel like I might be. Maybe not. Maybe it's a common artist issue. I feel like her head might be... Let's go ahead. It's these. That way I'm just dealing with her head, not her shoulders too. Oh, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Why are you doing that? Why does it need to be so... Anyways. Her eyes. those out her eyes. Oh no, I don't wanna. I'm also trying to work around my microphone here, so let's see here if I can maybe. I'll just up the gain a smidge. Hello. What if I did this? Is that gonna be loud enough? I hope that's loud enough. We'll find out in the next episode. Really awful because I'll like look back at my old streams like after. I like to wait like 24 hours before I look over my old streams to see if like anything went wrong or whatever, because I feel like if I do it like right away I'm gonna be way more upset than should be. 24 hours gives me like a little bit of a buffer to realize that, you know, it's not that bad. But anyways, I'll look over something. Like it took me 3 weeks to realize that my streams were like we're like streaming quadruple times. Like it'd be streaming twice on YouTube and streaming twice on Twitch because I'd messed with my settings somehow. And I'm like, for like 3 weeks, every time I went live, people are like, hey, your stream is like buffering really bad. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh man, like, is it my internet? Is it me? I mean, it was me. Usually is, but no, it's because it was trying to stream like 4 times over instead of twice. That's not gonna work. Okay. Now I'm just going to kind of like, not really outline. This is more of a stage where I'm like just trying to, oh, well, lose my picture apparently. Make sense of the scribbles. You have your scribble phase and then you have your sketch phase. Ah! Recently my Wacom tablet pin hasn't been behaving for some reason. Like, it's like my Wacom my Wacom tablet pin was losing weak. Uh-huh. That's exactly what I was trying to say. No, it feels like the pin is losing me because like I'll go to draw and it won't draw anything, and then like I'll scribble to the side and I'll draw something. Like, oh, okay. Sure. I don't think how that. You ever like draw with a pen and like it won't draw where you're like, or writing. You're like writing something out and the pen won't write at all. And then suddenly, so you like go off to the side and you like scribble and it works just fine. You're like, oh, okay, well, I guess just whatever. And then you go back to write, and then it doesn't write at all again. Like, what? What? Pins, am I right? Hmm. Oh my god. I live right across the street from a train. It is loud as hell. Come on. I'm gonna turn up the music a bit. I know I'm a little quiet. I get like really focused on what I'm doing and I forget to talk. I like to make my sketch layers like as not invisible, what's the word? Opaque? No. The opposite of opaque. Transparent. Quiet? God, I'm so bad with words. My brain was like, small. I like to keep my sketches small. I mean, oh god, what's the word? Not quiet. Light. That's the word. Jesus Christ. I like to keep my sketches as light as possible. In opacity. That way I know what I'm, like, I can see my lines better. Sometimes I feel like it can be really distracting if you have, like, your sketch layer being very loud. We're gonna go with that. I don't know. You ever draw loud? I like to draw quiet. Oh my god. I've got to figure out what the hell's going on with my pen. I keep thinking to myself, oh, you know, like, what? These things are breaking down. They're not even that old, like... Then I forget that I bought them in, like, 2021. That was 4 years ago. I mean, like, no, they shouldn't be breaking down after 4 years. Anything that breaks down after 4 years, like, that's ass. But it's not like I bought these last year. And every year I'm just like, they're like a year old. Why are they acting up? Why does time keep passing? Like, nothing really makes you more aware of the passage of time than, like, having kids. You know? Because not only are you, like, painfully aware of, like, how long it's been since, like, things have come out and things are popular and stuff, but also, like, my kids are going to be 11 and 9. Or one is 9 now. The other is turning 11. And it's like, I've been a parent for longer than a decade? What the shit? When did that happen? How did that happen? I also was, like, thinking the other day that it's very interesting that, like, IPs nowadays have, like, a much longer lifespan. Like, we have multi-generational IPs that, like, I mean, like, we kind of did before, in a way, but, like, it's weird to be like, oh yeah, I got into Pokemon when I was your age, and it's still just as relevant, if not more so, than when I was a kid. Or, like, even Sonic. Like, my kids are going through Sonic phase, and around the same time that I went through my Sonic phase. Like, my daughter is going into 6th grade. I think I got into Sonic when I was in 6th grade, and I'm like, this is fucking wild to see. Meanwhile, it's like, before, in order to, like, have something that, like, your kid, like, you, I don't know, I couldn't, like, relate to anything that my parents did other than, like, the stuff they got me into that was already old. Like, you know, I listened to the Beatles and old stuff like that. But, like, the stuff that they watched, like Captain Kangaroo and I don't know what else. I guess technically not, because, like, I think Scooby-Doo came out when my parents were, like, in college. My parents are old. My dad is old. Let me correct that. My mom is no longer with us, so she's not old anymore. Because that's how that works. I just think that's I don't know, it's just interesting. That's a thing. But like, it's not a thing for everybody, because like we have friends who are parents that just don't get it. They're like, oh my god, my kids play, you know, so many video games, and we just like, I don't get it. And like, me and my husband are sitting there being like, that's like how we spend time as a family. Just playing video games together. This hand looks so strange to me. I think it's the pinky. I'm gonna move this finger up. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Oh my lord. Yeah, that's not much better. Oh. Four-fingered hands look so weird to me. But I don't want to draw 5 fingers, because I'm lazy. Like, that was the whole point why, like, cartoons started drawing 4 fingers, right? Isn't it easier to animate or something? I feel like it is. I feel like that would be. That makes sense in my head. Less things to draw. One of the things that I have been struggling with, trying to get these storytime stuff like going, not sure like what I should do for my first story time. Like, I have this issue where I overthink everything. And so, like, I will, be like, yeah, I have this idea and I want to do this idea. And then, like, I just overcomplicate it really quickly. Because I'm like, oh, but it has to be this way to be exactly the way that I see it in my head. Which is often, like, based off of things that I've seen of other people who have been doing it far longer than I have. So, like, there's a part of me that's like, oh yeah, I have this great idea for first story time, and then instantly I'm countered with, who the hell's gonna care about that? And, like, that's not supposed to be the point. Because the point is, like, I'm trying to just make stuff. I just want to make stuff. I don't really care if anybody cares. I shouldn't care if anybody cares. I unfortunately do. My head keeps going tilted up. Stop it. Get some help. I should probably just keep that up. Just scoop that over here. Swoop. Oh my god, where did I go? Why did I disappear? Oh. Oh, interesting. I've discovered a thing about the program I'm using. That apparently the shape of my window affects the size of my model. That is... why? Why is that a thing? Gotta love baby's first VR chat. Or not VR chat. VTuber. This isn't even my first VTuber model. I had a couple of others. I actually want to post. I have a thing that I did where I was like going over all the different VTuber models I've had over the years. But anyways, as I was saying, I overcomplicate things. Like, I kept going back and forth for years about whether or not I wanted to be, like, fully dedicate myself to the VTuber model thing and, like, erase all traces of myself on the internet the best to my ability. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I like taking pictures of myself too much. There are just some days where I'm like, damn, I look good and I want to share this. I want everybody else to see how good I look. But I like the simplicity of VTubing. Because I can just throw up a camera and I can talk. I don't have to worry about getting dressed. I don't have to worry about... well, mostly getting dressed. I would like to say, you know, putting on makeup and stuff, but I haven't worn makeup in like a year. Maybe less. I guess I put on makeup for a Christmas party, but I've strayed a little bit away from makeup. A lot of it from makeup, actually. I'm just not into it anymore. I think I got some of my muscle rub in my mouth somehow. My tongue's doing the thing. Where it's like, it's not like, it feels like it's getting warm. Or like the taste is warm. I don't know how to explain it. But it tastes like I have muscle rub in my mouth somehow. That's awful. Okay. Let's get you cleaned up. Ugh. But yeah, as I was saying, for the third time. I always overcomplicate things. And so I've been going back and forth over like what I wanted to be my first storytime video. I have a lot of like interesting stories that I want to tell. And some of them I don't think everybody's gonna be like really into, but that's whatever. That's neither here nor there, but don't know, I guess I just want to make like a good first impression. Like, nobody really cares for your first 100 videos or so. It takes like a good 100 videos for you to like, before anyone starts to notice. From what I hear anyways, I haven't even made that many videos. I think I've only made like 23. Which is still a lot. In the grand scheme of things. Like I told myself, like I cannot give up on doing this, whatever this is, until I've made at least 100 videos. And they don't have to be like 100 of the same type of video. I can experiment. So I've done like skits, I've done edits, like re-editing something to look different. I've done Let's Plays. I've done a reaction video. Womp womp. Wowee. So the next thing I wanted to try was doing, like, story times. Oh, I did a review where it was like kind of like an animated, it was like animatic of sorts. That was really fun. It was a lot of work, and I had to get like my friend in on trying to like help me get all the stills done. But like I had a lot of fun doing that one. That was a lot of fun. Actually, I've had a lot of fun doing all of them, honestly. I think the most like quote-unquote stressful ones were like the skits, and that's just because you need like a bit of like uninterrupted time to do that, and that just doesn't really exist for me. I even made like a short, I made a short quote-unquote film. That was for a challenge. I mean, like, not bad. I think it's good to experiment. I know that the kind of stuff that I want to do is more along the sides of, like, narrative. There we go. Like, I'd love to get to a point where, like, I make maybe not a movie. I don't know, maybe a movie. I have ideas. But I don't know. I have to get there first. And I'm not gonna get there if I keep obsessing over tiny details that just don't care, or just don't matter in like the grand scheme of things. It's one of those things that, like, I can tell myself over and over and over again, it doesn't matter, just do it, just do the thing, it doesn't matter. And like I still obsess over it. So I was like trying the artist way to see if maybe that will help me like get over this perfectionism. And I got to about week 8 before I was like fed up with it in a way. I got really frustrated because none of it made any sense to me. I was like, a lot, like like when you read the text and stuff, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like some of the stuff makes sense. Oh shit, like that makes sense. But the exercises that follow never made sense to me. Some of them just I don't know. Like it just they seem discombobulated almost, or but some of them made sense. You're like, okay, yeah. But like I couldn't. The basic thing is like it's trying to help you find the thing that you want to do, right? And it does this by kind of tapping into a little bit of like inner child work. They don't call it inner child work, but it's more or less inner child work. And you know, kind of going back over your childhood and what was the thing that you always wanted to be. My problem is that I wanted to be fucking everything. Like, yeah, I wanted to like make like I guess what you would call content. We didn't call it contact back in my day. It wasn't called content. It was just called the internet. You know, I always was fascinated with making stuff on the internet. And as soon as I knew, like, you could. You know, things like... I know that Rooster Teeth is canceled or whatever, but, like, things like Red versus Blue fascinated me. And early Let's Plays, and I mean, like, early Let's Plays. Pre-Markiplier Let's Plays. They weren't even called Let's Plays, or I think they're just like playthroughs or whatever. Like comedy, like college humor, or Freddie Wong. Like just knowing that I could make something without the need for like necessarily big expensive equipment, or like, you know, it's just without the need for like a studio or whatever. Like that just fascinated me always. But also I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I've always dreamed of being on Whose Line Is It Anyways? Like there was a brief stint where it was like, I want to be a biologist who studies wolves out in the field. Oh, okay, I shouldn't say brief stint. That's always been a thing of mine, and I live vicariously through, like, the cats in my area. Doing that, like, I just track, like, the stray cats in my neighborhood. Like I would, like, if I was a fucking field biologist. But anyways. Like, I wanted to be it all. So as I'm going through this artist's way, they're like, what is the thing that you've always wanted to do? And I'm just like, have this huge long list of things, and I'm like, this isn't helping me at all. In fact, I'm still at square one where it's like, I want to be pulled in 1,000,001 directions. I want to go into all the things. And I finally got really fed up with this stupid book. Yar. But everybody swears by it. I think I just need to try again. I think I will. I actually found a free PDF version of it, which I was like, sweet. So, the other thing is they're like, oh yeah, you need to go on these artist dates every single week. And I'm like, I don't have a car. I don't have any fucking money. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But anyways. Yeah, that's not the way I wanted to go. There we go. point of all this is to say, like, when they say do the thing, they really just mean to do the thing. Oh no, no, don't do that. There you go. Ah, shit. Okay. Maybe? No? There we go. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're just not going to do. You're not gonna do it if you don't do it. Wow, what a fucking you don't say. I know, I'm so wise. You don't do it if you don't do it. But it's still so frustrating, especially if you're neurodivergent and people are like, yeah, you just do it. It's like, okay, but how? Like, I had this conversation once with a friend of mine who is like the most neurotypical person that you will ever encounter. And he's like, yeah, just do it. Why don't you ever just do what you want to do? And I'm like, what do you mean just do it? How do you just do it? He's like, I don't know, I just do it. I'm like, that's the problem. How do you do that? He's like, I don't know, I just do it. Just going around and around and around, like yelling at each other. Just do it. Ow! Like, nobody's like, how do you start? You just do. But how? It's hard to explain to other people who are not neurodivergent that just starting is not what you think it is. Like, for me, in order to start, I have to be like, okay, everything has to work exactly the way that I want it to, and if I don't know for a fact that it's going to work like that, I don't do it. Which is dumb, because like 99.9% of the time you don't know if it's going to work unless you do it. Brains are dumb. But like in a good way, I guess. I guess. Sorry, hyper-focused. I zoned out there. I'm blacked out, my bad. That's not the button I want. I'm gonna have to go back and make shorts of this stream. And I hate that. Funny thing is that I really like editing. And I actually... So I got rid of Adobe like last year. Because it's just like... Adobe Photoshop stopped working on my computer. And in a way that's like it wouldn't like automatic like do the smooth zoom like with the mouse, and it was like, oh yeah, you don't have like a powerful graphics card to do this, and I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? I have a 3070. Like, it's not the most powerful graphics card, but I can run some pretty decent games in Ultra. And you say that I don't have enough power to fucking zoom in on a picture? What the fuck? So I got rid of it finally. And I was using Adobe Premiere to edit my videos. And because despite everything, Premiere has just got the ease of access that a lot of, like, other programs don't have. In a very strange way. Like, I can just, like, drag and drop things after I find them. That's the problem. I have to find them first. That's usually not too bad. So then I got rid of that, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to find a new program to edit videos on. And I knew that, like, basically my only option was DaVinci. I'm like, fuck. DaVinci is a really powerful program, and it's amazing. For being fucking free, it's like, what the fuck? This is free? Really? Hard to believe. DaVinci is really powerful. And the last time I had used DaVinci, I was like rendering like a half-second clip, and it ate up like all my memory to do so, and I was like, well, fuck. So it's like, if any program is my computer doesn't have the power to run, it's DaVinci. But I mean, like, I think they've optimized it since, because I've gotten a DaVinci now, and it runs a lot better. But the other issue that I came across was the fact that I was like, I don't... It's intimidating. It's a big fucking program. Like, it's got these tabs at the bottom that helps you with, like, your flow for editing, and each... So you've got, like, you know, your cutting stage, and your editing stage, and then the sound stage, and then the After Effects stage, and then, you know, coloring. Each one of those tabs are basically an entire program in and of themselves. I'm just like, oh fuck. At the same time, it might force me to slow down. Because one of the things that I encountered when I was editing in Premiere was the fact that I could do anything technically, and it was very easy to do more or less anything, that I would try to over edit, and then it would take me too long to edit something, and then my ADHD brain would be like, I don't want to do this no more. And then I would just, and then like overanalyze and get all perfectionist about it, and then I just scrap the entire thing. Like, I have so many videos that I just scrapped because I could not bring myself to finish editing them. And my last video, I had to like force myself to post because I was like, I can't scrap this. I have to post it. Just for like fucking on principle. I haven't even watched it back since. Hey yo, that one's done. Put it in the lineup. Let's do this one next. Oops, nope, that's not what I wanted. But anyways, so I opened up DaVinci and I've been like messing around with it, and I'm hoping that by having to learn like basically one whole tab by itself, before moving on to like the next. And maybe I'll just like slow down and like be like, okay, I'm going to dedicate this video to learning just the timeline stuff. And then, or like, the next video is like, okay, now I'm going to add, like, work on like the sounds and things. Or something. I don't know. Something along those lines. I'm gonna have to make new eyeballs. Oops. Come on. Awesome. I blacked out again. Oopsie poodles. I think the challenge with having a character that has no mouth is like trying to convey some of these like more nuanced like facial expressions. Like this can easily be construed as like kind of a like a oh no like a yeah kind of like a this face. Like I kind of also want it to be like a cheeky this somewhere in between. There we go. I wonder if I can. Yeah. Kind of like bashful, like haha. I suppose if it's bashful, I could like put like a little blush line there. Blush lines. And sometimes the sketch like comes out well enough too that I can just clean this up pretty easily and it be my line art. Which looks like that's kind of what's happening here. I can clean this up real quick. Thicken a couple of lines. I really struggled with line art for a really long time. I just could not get any of my line art to look as good as I wanted it to. It always looked really like janky and kind of scribbly. Not scribbly, like shaky. And then, like, I tried, like, every thing in the book, you know, and it turns out I just hadn't found, like, a brush that I liked. And, like, that, like, everybody tells you, oh, like, if you're gonna do line art, you should do, like, 50 fucking layers, redoing your line art over and over and over and over again. I did that once, and I spent, like, 20 hours on a doodle. Or, like, they're like, make sure that your lines are varied, which, like, yes, but, like, that's not gonna happen unless you have, like, a good brush that you like that does that, and a tablet that has, like, a stylus that, you know, has good pressure sensitivity, which I know, like, not everybody has access to. And, so, like, it's like, well, like, so when, you know, if I had to give myself, like, that advice, be like, just try different brushes until you find one you like. And so, like, the one that my go-to brush now for outlining is called Mapping Pen. But I can't have it too high, because, like, if it's too high, then, like, you see it just kind of, like, there we go. It, like, tapers too quickly. But, like, at small sizes, it's just, like, it's perfect. And then also, like, if you have, oh my god, I'm sad. If you have stability on whatever program you're using, like, use stability. I don't care what anybody says. There are people out there who's like, oh, if you use stability, you're not a real artist. Fuck you. Okay. Fuck you. Wait, hold on. No. No, no. Fuck you. Because, like, there's a lot that goes into a stable pen stroke. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. Digital is not going to imitate traditional. If you practice having smooth strokes, like nice long strokes and stuff with traditional, that will help. But when it comes to digital, everything's going to affect you. Like the surface of your tablet, the smoothness of your pen, the fucking, if you had too much fucking coffee that day. In my case, I have a very, very slight tremor in my hands that you can't really pick up when I'm drawing traditionally, but when I'm drawing with, like, a really sensitive pen, like, it's really noticeable. So I use, and that's the other thing too, is, like, it's accessible for people who have, you know, tremors in their hand for reasons A, B, C, and D. But not E. Joking. We stan E. Wait. Anyways. So yeah, find a brush that you like, and then turn up that stability as fucking far as you can. I have my stabilization at 35 for most of my pins. And, like, you can see that there's a slight, like, delay, but if it's because it's too much delay, then it can get distracting, or doesn't follow the curve that you want to follow as well. There is that problem. But yeah, that's what I would do. Well, it really comes down to, and ever since, I just have loved my line work. And, like, you know, take some hints from some other people too. So like, I've always enjoyed having a thicker line on the outside of my drawings. Like when I draw traditionally, I will like, if I outline things, I will use like a Sharpie to like make a bigger outline around them. If it's like something really big and cartoony like this. I've always just really enjoyed that look. But what I struggled with like traditionally is not knowing like the size of what do I do if I don't know like how thick I want it. And one of the advice that I took from somebody that I watch who's a comic artist is if you want like a really nice thick outline that's not going to be like super distracting, you just do one size up from what you draw with. And so like in my case, I usually draw with 0.25. And then I will outline with either 0.30, or if I'm like, you know, if it's 0.20, then I'll outline with 0.25. Because there's kind of like a bigger difference for some reason in Clip Studio Paint. And like this doesn't apply to like all programs, because every program's a little bit different. I will always stand by Clip Studio Paint. I have tried a ton of programs, and by far, Clip Studio Paint is like the best. I fucked with Photoshop for so long, only so that if I ever decided to get into the industry, I could say, yes, I have had 2 years plus, like, experience with Photoshop, because for whatever reason, that's what you need. You need to have used Photoshop for at least 2 years, so you can kind of, like, navigate your way around it. But I honestly did not... It was like a smidge better than Krita. It's not much better than Krita. But Clip Studio Paint is like by far the best. It is more responsive, in my opinion. It is much more, what's the word? Customizable. In a way, like I feel like there's a lot more that you can do with it. Like I felt like the stabilization in Photoshop, for instance, was like it was either nothing or all of it. There was no nuance, whereas like Clip Studio Paint, I have much more control over how much stabilization I can put in. And I feel like my pin sensitivity is much more responsive in Clip Studio Paint than it was in like Photoshop. Like I can literally look at some of my older artworks and I could tell you what program I used just based on like the quality of the art. And like tools aren't everything. There's definitely some people out there who can do some really fucking amazing things with just like MSS Paint, but they can play a part if that's like the way you want to go, you know? You can just be like, nah, I want to be able to be good with anything I can pick up. Oh, like that's awesome. I rely pretty heavily on my tools. And there's not a problem. I don't think there's a problem with that at all. Like, that does not make you any less of an artist or anything if you decide to be like, hey, I need this tool. Unless it's AI art. That's not a tool. I'm just gonna say it. That's not a tool. That doesn't count. But I feel like you have a drawing program Like, I use the 3D, posers in, like, almost all of my stuff now. And that's just because it took me way too long to try to figure out a pose. I have a hard time, like, looking at something and... Okay, it's like, if I didn't find the exact pose that I needed for something, I have a hard time, like, combining photos in my head. Sir, do you mind? Oh my god. Like, I can, like, because of, like, the practice that I have, with drawing, I can absolutely, like, whip up a pose based off of just looking at references, but it takes a long time for me to get it right. And so, like, when I'm drawing my comic and stuff, it's just easier for me to just take those 3D posers and... 3D posers. Poser. Does anyone ever say poser anymore? Like, is that a thing? Am I old? I'm old. Would poser be the, like... Is imposter? Like the way that the kids say, like, oh, you're sus. You're Is that the same as saying poser? Am I just old? I think I'm just old. I'm just old. I'm old. Womp womp. What was I saying? I lost it. Anyways. So I grew up in the 90s. and early 2000s. And I remember, like, the quintessential, oh my god, the kids are using a new word for this thing that happened between me and my mom. And my mom fucking lost it. Because she, growing up in the 60s, 50s, and 60s, the word was the word for, like, something that was really fucking cool, something that's I guess lit would be the Gen Z or Gen Alpha, whatever generation. Anyways, back in her day, it was bitchin'. Hey, that's really bitchin'. Yo, that's bitchin'. Bitch and ride, you know, stuff like that. And I came home one day and I had said, I don't remember what it was about. I was just like, yeah, that's really pimpin'. Because that's the word we used in the early aughts. Not quite sure why. But that was the word. And my mom just, like, lost it. Like, she was just howling with laughter. And I'm like, I don't get it. And so she calls up her mom, right? And she's like, hey, so you know how you hated, like, absolutely abhorred me saying bitchin' about everything? And my grandma's like, yeah. It's like, guess what they say nowadays? My grandma's like, oh no. What? It's like, now they call it pimpin'. And my grandma's just like, oh dear lord, it got worse. And now it's like a completely alien language. I remember having a conversation with somebody, they're like, what do you think about, like, the kids' lingo these days and how brain rotted it is? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Do you not remember going around school and just being like, badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, badger, badger, badger? Like, do you not remember screaming, Leroy Jenkins? Like, It's the same fucking shit. It is. There's no difference other than the generation. And I'm sure the generations before that had their own, like, thing that they, like, brain rot. Well, okay, quote-unquote brain rot. Like, this whole, like, scoopity dis and, like, that's no different. It's no different in my mind. People are like, what the hell, Skippity Toilet? I don't know, it's a video. It's a fucking shitpost. That's what it is. Like, I didn't understand why everybody was, like, all upset and up in arms about that. It's like, it's a shitpost. What's worse is, like, the guy who made Skippity Toilet is an OG YouTuber. He's been shitposting for fucking for, like, a decade. And that was just the thing that took off. And so he, like, fucking capitalized on it. As one does. The Ohio thing I kind of get. What's funny is having to explain to my children that yes, Ohio is an actual place. And it is nowhere near as interesting as you think it is. But yeah, like, everybody's just like, oh, their thing goes so dumb. It's like, we did it too. I don't know how you forgot. It was just because, like, I still vocally stim. I remember, like, I was getting my son's diagnosis for autism, and the guy sat down with us, because at one point it's, like, just a parent and doctor interview, and he's like, so does he, like, vocally stim? Like, just says random stuff for no reason? And my husband and I, like, looked at each other, and I was like, well, we all kind of do that. Like, that's kind of the love language in the house. And he was like, no, I mean, like, really, really specific. And I'm like, yeah, kinda. And, like, we all do. We're a house full of neurodivergent people. And done. That one went a lot smoother and faster than the other. Alright, I was gonna do like blush. We'll just do that on a separate layer though. Blush. Oop. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna have to call it quits after this because it is lunchtime and I need to eat. Because if I don't eat, then my husband gets very upset with me. Let's see if maybe I can just... Whoop. Does that look better? I like the other way. Anyways. That was fun. Thanks for letting me yap at you. You guys. You guys! Anywhoozin'. I will be back next Thursday, hopefully with any luck, if things go well. And, yeah. I'll see you guys then. Toodaloos!